Rams House, NFL scouts, execs, coaches, and coordinators have been voting on their top 10s at every position, and Rams are getting snubbed. On today's episode of the Rams Report, presented by PrizePicks. Guys, play alongside all of us here at Chat Sports, and when you sign up for PrizePicks, make sure you use code HMA to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. But on today's show, like I was saying, we're going to be taking a look at a couple of the positional top 10s that have come out so far. They're rolling them all out position by position. I think they should be out by the end of next week, so this probably won't be the last time we'll do this. We'll see if maybe Rams get a little more respect than they have been so far, because the first couple of lists that have come out, my friends, Kyren Williams, Byron Young, and Kobe Turner all got snubbed on the running back, edge, and defensive tackle rankings. They did give some respect to another Ram in one of these lists, but very little respect for the Rams so far. These three guys in particular absolutely getting snubbed. But let's jump right into this thing. Let's not waste any time today with the top 10 running backs list. So you go through this, and number one, Bijan Robinson. That feels fair. Falcons is spelled wrong there, actually. Jahmyr Gibbs is number 2 with the Lions. Saquon Barkley is number 3. That might be a little high for Saquon coming off of last season. CMC at 4, yeah, we can take that. He's very versatile still, even though he's a Niner. You got to give him credit. He's still a great player. Jonathan Taylor at 5. Honestly, I might even consider pushing Taylor a little bit higher. I feel like he had a really great season last year. Derrick Henry at 6 and James Cook at 7. Okay, we can live with that. Cook coming off a really great season. Achan's coming off a really good year with the Dolphins. But then you get to 9 and 10. And this is where I go, hang on, what? Because Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall over Kyren Williams? I just am not seeing it. To be completely honest with you, I am not. And neither are the numbers. You put these two head to head, and I would say Kyren and Kenneth Walker are really pretty comparable when it comes to like what they offer as receiving threats. I think they've both improved that element of their game over the last couple of seasons, but it's really not the primary threat with either of them. Kyren is the better running back. I mean, he gets a little bit more work, but he's more efficient with the work that he does get. Over 1,200 yards last season. And mind you, that was Kenneth Walker. That was his third consecutive season of over 1,000, but he's never been over 1,100 yards as a rusher in his career. And Breece Hall, who came in over Kyren as well, once again, outpaced in efficiency, even more so than it was with Kenneth Walker, at 4.8 for Kyren Williams and 4.4 per carry for Breece Hall. And again, just destroys him in total yards as well, which part of that does, he gets a little bit more volume here, but the disparity is much closer. 1,200 total yards for Kyren, just over 1,000 for Breece Hall. 10 total touchdowns for Kyren, just 4 total touchdowns for Breece Hall. And mind you, that is Breece Hall's first career 1,000-yard rushing season. Kyren has piled up 3 of those in a row. I don't think it is a biased take at all to sit here and tell you I would take Kyren Williams over Kenneth Walker or Breece Hall every day that ends in Y. And I think, apparently some of these guys voted differently, but I think most people would say the exact same thing. Because you look at the last 3 years of Kyren's career, and he is a proven performer. Ken Walker and Breece Hall are not bad players. This is not the point I'm trying to make here at all. But Kyren Williams is simply a better one. He is markedly better in nearly every statistic. The only thing that you could point to and say, I would rather, or this is the better thing that for Ken Walker and Breece Hall, clearly better, is they don't have as much of a ball security concern. And I would say Kyren has eliminated that or massively reduced it over the last couple, really last year. We saw him really reduce that problem. There were a couple early on in the year, but you didn't see it pop up throughout the back half of last season. I'm hoping that can continue to be the case. But admittedly, yes, that is a concern for Kyren. But I still think you got to look at the totality of it. And Kyren is the better player than both of those guys. And unfortunately, He's not the only Ram getting snubbed. We're going to talk about two more guys on today's show. But before we do that, I've got to let you guys know about our friends over at PrizePicks. If you're a regular viewer of the Rams Report, you know all about the good people at America's #1 sports picks app. But if it's your first time tuning in or you've just never heard of PrizePicks, if you love daily fantasy sports and you want to add more excitement to watching sports, you've got to try out PrizePicks. It's a great time to get started on PrizePicks too, with the World Cup well underway. And guys, it has never been easier to play daily fantasy than it is with PrizePicks. All you have to do is pick from 2 to 6 players. You're selecting more or less on their stat projections, whether you're picking from points, assists, rebounds, hits, home runs, strikeouts, goals, shots on target, saves, goals allowed. They've got plenty of options from all your favorite sports. Plus, they also have awesome social features that allow you to easily tailor fade your friends or your favorite creators, including me. I'm Jackson Durham on PrizePicks with no spaces. That's the username, so you could just search it up and drop a follow, and once you do, you'll start to see my latest lineups in your social feed, including this one right here, a little 10 to win 40, John. We're going with Lamine Yamal, taking the more on his goals, and I'm going with Caleb Wilson, the more on his points, rebounds, and assists. So you guys can tell me on that lineup, or if you don't think that one's going to work, then you can fade me. Whatever you do, though, just do it at PrizePicks. And if you're brand new to PrizePicks, make sure you use our promo code. Download the PrizePicks app today to use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. That's code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to get an extra $50 in lineups with PrizePicks. The clickable link to download the app is in the comments and the description below. As always, thank you to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's video. Let's talk more on Kyren Williams. Really underrated, productive, tough as shit, according to, this is all per an anonymous NFL coordinator. Everybody's anonymous when it comes to this stuff. He said he brings the juice, has improved as a pass catcher, and he's really good in protection. Just doesn't have the high-end traits of some of the others. Boo! Boo! That is piss-poor analysis, man. Just doesn't have the high-end traits of some of the others. Who cares about traits, man? This isn't the draft. This is not the draft. We're not evaluating these guys based off their traits. We're evaluating these guys based off who they are at the NFL level. So get out of here with that. High-end traits is what caused Kyren Williams to fall into the 5th round, but it's also what made him an enormous steal for the Rams. Yes, he's not an incredible athlete. You look at the RAS score for him, and you would have never guessed that this guy would have been an incredible running back at the NFL level. But the production and the eye test tells us that he is an incredible running back at the NFL level. So telling me, you know what, he's really good, but on paper he isn't really good, tells me, like, what are you talking about, man? That is absolutely ridiculous. It's a very silly argument. I can't believe that it comes to us courtesy of a real deal NFL coordinator, according to Jeremy Fowler. But that's what's going on. According to the NFL, that's the kind of evaluation that we have from some of those guys out there, and you wonder why certain teams just don't perform anywhere near the level that the Rams do. But like I said, guys, Kyren is unfortunately not the only Ram getting snubbed on these lists. Next up, we've got to take a look at the edge list because they snubbed our boy Byron Young. They did, however, I will give them props for this, give a ton of respect to the newest Ram, Myles Garrett. And who's surprised, right? Like, of course he was going to be number 1. Of course he was going to be number 1. But what feels really good about this, not only was he number 1, he absolutely dominated the voting process, guys. According to Jeremy Fowler, he was number 1, not only by consensus and by average, he was number 1 on every single frickin' ballot. It's a clean sweep for Garrett, says Jeremy Fowler, who was number 1 on every ballot. That's rare for this exercise, which usually features at least one detractor, but Garrett is undeniable after a season for the ages that included an NFL record 23 sacks and perhaps an even more impressive 33 tackles for loss. Finally some respect for the Rams here. Finally. And even though, he didn't have that season as a Ram, but he is a Ram now. So finally a little bit of respect for us. But okay, Byron Young's not in the top 10. Was he at least an honorable mention like Kyren Williams was on the running back list? Because that's where that quote came from. It was by courtesy of him being an honorable mention. I don't know if I directly said that during that section. My bad on that. But, okay, we'll roll through the first 5 names. Jared Verse. Nice to see Verse on there. Now, even though he's a Cleveland Brown now, that season was had as a Los Angeles Ram, and I would definitely agree he should be in contention for a list like this. But 4 more names, and still no Agent Zero. Montez Sweat, Leatu Latu? Wait, really? I mean, like, I don't dislike Leatu Latu, but, like, over Byron Young? A guy who has 2 12-sack seasons in his career? No honorable mention is ridiculous, man. And you're going to look extra stupid after Byron Young goes out across from Myles Garrett and puts up the best season of his entire NFL career. Because I truly feel that's what's coming for this guy. And, you know, a lot of people, I think they view me as a Byron Young detractor. Largely because when we've talked about Byron Young, a lot of the time the narrative has been framed around the idea that Byron may have to leave at some point. But I do that largely because I'm being realistic. It's not because I don't like this guy. I have a lot of faith in his ability, a ton of faith in his talent. Honestly, that's why I think the Rams aren't going to be able to keep him around. I just think he's going to be too expensive for us to afford because he's going to play himself into a monster deal this season. I thought that even before we got Garrett. But with Myles Garrett across from him drawing all that attention, Byron Young is going to make the people who voted for this list absolutely regret it this year. I promise you that. And one more guy is going to do the same. We're going to talk about him in just 1 second. But before we do, I got to give a shout out to our sponsor here, the good people over at SeatGeek. Guys, it is crazy hot out there. And when the weather gets like this, my favorite thing to do is get out and see a live event. But the number one thing that always killed me about doing that was the price you'd have to pay. At least that was until I found SeatGeek. Guys, SeatGeek has radically changed my ticket buying experience. Whether I'm looking for Rams tickets or for concert tickets with my fiance, I know that SeatGeek's going to have my back. They're going to cover me here because they've got every single ticket marked out on a scale of 1 to 10. So I know closer to 10, that's a better deal for the seat that I'm getting. And if I don't want to look at numbers, because, guys, I was a horrible math student, I really don't like looking at them, I can just look at the green dots, because the green dots, the more green it is, that tells me it's a better deal. The red dots, I'm going to stay away from those. Those are our bad deals. And the other thing I'm going to check out is the seat view. Every single time I'm shopping on SeatGeek, I love to see their seat views because it's going to show you exactly what it looks like from every spot in the stadium. You know there's not going to be a pole in your way. You know your view's not going to be obstructive, and it's exactly the seat that you want to get. And speaking of getting your seat, I've got a code for you guys. You can use code CHAT10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code CHAT10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek, for sponsoring today's video. And let's take a look at ESPN's top 10 defensive tackles list. Because as we patrol this thing, one thing's going to jump out to you right away, and it's that Leonard Williams is number 1, which, like, whoa, that's kind of crazy, not going to lie. Something else that's going to jump out to you, we got no Kobe Turner on this list. Again, as we roll through the top 10, he is once again not listed. He did crack the honorable mentions and vote getters alongside another Seahawk. Come on, Byron Murphy and Leonard Williams getting in this, but we can't even get Kobe Turner in the top 10. Just feels like more disrespect here. And again, Leonard Williams, fine player. Byron Murphy, fine player. But I think Kobe Turner is consistently disrespected by the league at large. The conductor is not seen as the elite talent that he truly is. I think even by some Rams fans, the conductor is disrespected because we've had this conversation on this channel before around Kobe Turner We've comped him in the past to a guy like Jeff Simmons. When Jeff Simmons got that extension, I talked about, hey, this has an effect on Kobe Turner and his pending extension. And a lot of Rams fans, they responded to that, no, it doesn't. Kobe Turner is not in the ballpark of a guy like Jeff Simmons. Actual Rams fans feel that way. But okay, number 10 on this list is Jordan Davis. Let's do a little numbers comparison. Let's see, how does it play out? Oh, not well for Jordan Davis. Unless the only stat you care about is solo tackles, which at the end of the day, I mean, sure, a solo tackle is important, but there's a lot more that goes into it than that. How about double the amount of pressures, 55 to 27, more than double, honestly. 8 sacks to 5 sacks, 9 TFLs. So, again, the same production in run defense, which that's what everybody says Kobe Turner's weakness is, and that's supposed to be Jordan Davis's strength. That's supposed to be why Jordan Davis is on this top 10 list over Kobe Turner. Oh, guess what? They're about the same in it when you actually watch the film and when you actually look at numbers. But we're just not doing that because these guys don't watch Rams football. At the end of the day, I say this all the time. A lot of these national media evaluators, they're not watching Rams football. I truly believe that they are not, because you cannot come away with this much disrespect for guys like Byron Young and Kobe Turner if you are truly tuning into their film, if you are watching them on a week-to-week basis. There is just no way. I think, and I've said this before, Kobe needs more respect. Kobe is disrespected, and again, I got to say, there are some people probably watching this video that need to improve their level of respect for Kobe Turner. But that'll happen this season because just like Byron Young, he is set up for a monster year. But guys, ESPN is going to continue putting these out. Jeremy Fowler and ESPN, they're threatening to release more of these lists. So we'll, as they do so, patrol them. We'll react to them if you guys want us to. But send that message. Like today's video if you want us to break down more of these clips or more of these lists, excuse me. If you want us to take a look at the other rankings they're going to do, because we haven't gotten receivers yet, which obviously we should be number one in that one with Puka Nacua. We haven't gotten quarterbacks yet, and we should be number one in that one as well with Matthew Stafford. So I could check those lists out and make sure that ESPN is on the right track for you guys. Let me know by liking today's video that that's what you want to see, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great weekend.